1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. Hey, Jeremy, tell them contestant number 1 can come right on up here. No, 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 no.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to thank you guys for coming out for the interview portion of our final round to help determine our 2014 Oklahoma State Champion Auctioneer. Just want to tell you guys, this portion of the contest is very important to the overall portion of the contest, and I'll tell you something, and it's I know it's from personal experience. It's very trying, and we appreciate you guys coming out and supporting them for that. I'm going to ask them 3 questions. They don't know what the questions are, and they're going to come in here and they're going to answer them to their best ability, and they're going to be judged on that. So, without further ado, contestant number 1.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Justin Ball from Chandler, Oklahoma. It is an honor and a privilege to stand before you this afternoon as contestant and finalist number 1. Josh?
First off, Justin, congratulations for being here.
Thank you, sir.
Your first question is, in regards to our state association newsletter, the chant, is it important to you and why?
It is important because it is a direct link from the association to the members. And there are personal letters in there that have come from not only current board members, but past board members. And is a way for the association to link directly back to the members in a fashion that most people can get, whether it's going to be through the email or people that aren't necessarily tech savvy that can get it through the mail.
Thank you. Your second question is, who has influenced you as an auctioneer and why?
There's been a lot of people on the road of my career that have helped me and helped me immensely. I think the obvious one to that is going to be my father. He's the one that got me started. I was one of the fortunate people in this industry to get started at an extremely early age. And I tease people. They ask, "How long have you been around the auction business?" And I'm 36 years old. Been around the auction business for 36 years and 9 months. Because whenever my mother was pregnant, I was at the auction. And it's one thing that I certainly don't take lightly. The experience and being able to get opportunities to sell is pretty difficult when you're starting out. And I've been pretty privileged in having that set out for me. So it would have to be my father.
Thank you. Your third and final question is, you were on the elevator earlier today. Someone noticed your Oklahoma State Auctioneers Association lanyard. They ask you, what do you do? How did you respond?
You know, that's a situation that I take pride in because it's something that all auction professionals are are confronted with on a regular basis, and I automatically tell them I'm an auctioneer, and that's something that they can relate to, and inevitably they're going to say, "Are you the guy that talks fast?" Well, yes, sir, I am, but I also like to take that opportunity to tell them that there's a lot more than talking fast. There's a lot more that we do as auction professionals. And really, we're marketing professionals. We're marketing and we're driving people to come buy whatever the product is. And that's always a great opportunity to get somebody that doesn't know or understand the auction process to have an understanding. Where when the time comes that they have a situation or a group of assets or real estate that they do need to get moved, they will maybe look at the auction situation as something that can benefit them. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's been an honor to be here this afternoon as contestant and finalist number 1, Justin Ball.
Ladies and gentlemen, contestant number 2.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Todd Robertson. I'm from Duncan, Oklahoma. I am contestant number 2.
Todd, congratulations for being here.
Thank you.
My first question for you this afternoon is in regards to our state association newsletter, The Chant. Is it important to you and why?
Yes, it is very important to me. I mean, I served 6 years on the board. I was a past president of this association, and it is a difficult task to get our message out to all of our membership. It is something that I enjoy when I get it. I'll sit and read it. I'll read it from cover to cover, and it's probably one of the things that comes across my desk that I will read cover to cover that doesn't just get X'd over into the trash can as soon as it comes out. I do want to know what's going on. I want to know what's going on in my state with my friends, my comrades. Kind of want to know what's going on. And as far as in the chant is it's a good way of knowing what is going on. It's a good way of knowing what the board's doing, what our membership's doing. See who our sponsors are that are sponsoring the chant. And I will say that we've done an excellent job on the chant here of late, and that hadn't always been the case.
Thank you. Your second question is, who has influenced you as an auctioneer and why?
Are you asking in regards to our association, or are you asking just in general?
Just in general.
Probably the most influential and probably the first individual that influenced me as an auctioneer, and I talked about it earlier, was a man named Bill Starks in Anthony, Kansas. He rented us a room when I was with Farm Credit. Had a field office in Anthony, and him and his wife, they had kind of a little mom and pop auction business. They sold about a quarter of the land about every other week or every week. They had a little auction. And I thought, man, when I was sitting there watching that, and he was a super fine fella, and after watching him, I thought, you know, someday this might be something that this would work. I like this. I like what he's doing. I like the way he handled himself. I liked his reputation. I liked who he was. He was in the real estate business. Everybody seemed to like him. He had kind of the same background as I did as far as cattle and that sort of thing. He was probably my biggest influence, or the one that initiated my desire to do this.
Your third question is, you were on the elevator earlier today. Someone noticed your Oklahoma State Auctioneers Association lanyard. They ask you, what do you do? and how did you respond?
First, I would say I am an auctioneer, and the Oklahoma State Auctioneer Association, Oklahoma is not a licensed state. We have an association, and that's where we promote our ethics, our education, our camaraderie, our brotherhood. I mean, this is my family here. This is what we have in place of a mandated state license or law. This is where we come to get our ethics, to get our education, to see what everybody else is doing, and there hasn't been a meeting that I've ever been to that I haven't learned something.
Thank you, Todd.
Thank you very much. I am Todd Robertson. I am contestant number 2. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, contestant number 3.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tyler Ambrose, and I am contestant number 3, and I live in Yukon, Oklahoma. Josh?
First off, congratulations, Tyler, for making it to the final round. It's a pleasure to have you here. We're going to have 3 questions for you. Your first question is, in regards to our state association newsletter, The Chant, is it important to you and why?
Well, Josh, I think that the chant is a very important piece of information. Anytime I get it in the mail, I make sure I sit down and I read almost every article or any piece of information that's there. You know, that newsletter goes out to everybody, and all the articles in it are from the board members and what's going on in the association at the time and what the board members are doing. So it's a great material that goes out to everybody. It keeps everybody up to date on the issues that we face every day, and it's just a great newsletter that we get to read, and I look forward to it every time it comes out. So yes, I think it's a great part of the association.
Who has influenced you as an auctioneer and why?
Wow. There's several influences that I have, and I think one of them had to just leave, but I had the opportunity where I grew up at. I grew up down in southwest Oklahoma around Fletcher, Oklahoma and Elgin, Oklahoma. And when I was all the way through school, I was active in FFA and showing livestock, cattle. Well, at our bonus auctions and any type of auction through the school, I had the opportunity to watch Jim Birdwell and Billy Bridges do these. And those two guys, I would sit there when I was a kid and watch them and think, that's what I want to be. And not because of their chant, it's how people respected them and looked at those gentlemen. If you know, which most everybody knows Billy, but if you know Jim Birdwell, he is an astounding man that I consider myself very privileged to grow up around and have him as an influence. So those two were my biggest influences, and being part of the Bridges family, I had a lot of influence from them. So those Billy Bridges and Jim Birdwell were my main influences that made me want to become an auctioneer.
You were on the elevator earlier today. Someone noticed your Oklahoma State Auctioneers Association lanyard. They asked you, what do you do? And how did you respond?
I responded by saying I am a professional auctioneer and I am part of the Oklahoma State Auctioneers Association. And I think that being an auctioneer, most people think, wow, that's pretty cool, being an auctioneer, but it's more to that. I think of it as the people here, and show that everybody in this room are great people that are very, what's the word here? Passionate about their business. So that's what I think I would answer, is that yes, I'm an auctioneer, but this is a group of almost a family that's here to come together and be a part of this. So that's what I think this is all about.
Thank you, Tyler.
Thank you. Again, my name is Tyler Ambrose. I'm contestant number 3. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon and evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, contestant number 4.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, judges. My name is Joseph Hendren from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I will be contestant number 4 today. I feel very privileged to be here. I appreciate all of you coming out.
Congratulations, Joe. Welcome to the final round. It's a pleasure to have you here. First question for you is, in regards to our State Auction Association newsletter, The Chant, is it important to you and why?
Yes, it is very important to me, and I think not only important to me, it's important to everyone out there. That is where you find out what's going on in the state, and I feel like all of us owe something to this association. None of us would be here without it. This association gives us integrity, honor, the code of ethics that we all follow, and I think by having that, it keeps you abreast on what's going on in the industry, to where you can, like I said, keep it developed with the rest of the, and stay up with the rest of the auctioneers out there in the state and be able to learn from them.
Who has influenced you as an auctioneer and why?
Gosh, I don't think we have enough time for that. Obviously, first off would be my father. I sold my first auction when I was 12 years old, a few box lots when Dad went to auction school, and it's something that I enjoyed. I've been out of that industry and then back into the auction industry only because I love it. It's what I want to do. I've listened to pretty much every car auctioneer or IAC champion, world auto auctioneer I could ever find, and tried to learn something from each of them, because I feel like regardless of who's out there, everyone's got something that you can learn from.
You were on the elevator earlier today. Someone noticed your Oklahoma State Auctioneers Association lanyard. They asked you, "What do you do?" How did you respond?
I said, well, I'm a professional auctioneer. I talk fast, I sell things, and it's pretty simple. I love to do my chant. I love to tell everybody about it and what we do in the industry and how we are able to. It's not just fast talk, that there's so much more to it, and being able to take people that are in problems or need to get rid of certain things or have assets they need to liquidate and get rid of, and explain to them the auction process and how we create a competitive bidding market, and to be able to get the best price for the assets and for their sale.
Thank you, Joe.
Once again, I'm contestant number 4, Joseph Hendren. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, contestant number 5.
Hello, I'm Steve Sorrell from Perry, Oklahoma. I'm contestant number 5. First, judges, I'd like to say thank you for your time today. It means a lot to us participants as well as our families. So we thank you for your time. Go ahead.
Congratulations, Steve.
Thank you.
Our first question for you is, in regards to our state association newsletter, The Chant, is it important to you and why?
Well, first off, communication of any kind of organization is absolutely imperative, whether it comes electronically or the chant as we receive it. The biggest thing is that kind of communication is really the value every month and keeps everybody plugged in. If we had meetings every month, it may not be as important, but because we don't, we need these types of communication to continue educating, letting us know what the events of the day are that pertain to our industry and our profession.
Who has influenced you as an auctioneer and why?
Well, that's an easy question for me, but it would take me 30 minutes for me really to go through every person. But I will tell you, specifically the first person that I ever heard auction was a gentleman named Wayne Castile, who was a Hall of Famer, entered into the Hall of Fame last year. While he was very important in making me interested in the profession, a lot of people have taken me underneath their wings. Whitey Mason is one of those that my first year in and really kind of said, "Come follow me. I'll teach you what you need to know," and I appreciate that. Currently, Tony Wisely, one of the competitors, I work with him, has 7 or 8 years into this industry, has absolutely taught me what integrity looks like and what it should be.
Our third question for you is, you were on the elevator earlier today. Someone noticed your Oklahoma State Auctioneers Association lanyard. They asked you, what do you do, and how did you respond?
Well, that's easy. I'm an auctioneer. I'm proud of it. Not only am I an auctioneer, I also help as a ringman. Sometimes people don't understand exactly what that is, but being an auctioneer to me absolutely means that we bring the best platform for selling any kind of item, specifically real estate. In my and benefit auctions, I do that as well. But with the auction platform, we can bring the market. I'm absolutely not only that, but I'd also tell them I'm OSAA auctioneer, and that's a lot different beast in itself. The fact that we have a code of conduct that we follow and that we're proud of, and that we're going to always do right, not only by each other, but by our clients as well as the general public.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, contestant number 6.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brady Lepard, Enid, Oklahoma, contestant number 6.
Congratulations, Brady, for making it to the final round. We have 3 questions for you. My first question is, in regards to our state association newsletter, The Chant, is it important to you and why?
I think the chant is very important. It updates everybody. It kind of tells everybody what's going on. There's further education there to learn from, and it's just a good organization to be a part of and to learn from.
Who has influenced you as an auctioneer and why?
Oh, there's 2 people that have influenced me, and that's my dad, Troy, and my grandpa, Perry. I grew up and a 3rd-generation auctioneer from 2 years old to I'm 29 right now and still going at it. So I appreciate my dad so much. He's supported me with everything I've ever done, and the same thing for my grandpa Perry.
Final question for you, Brady, is you were on the elevator earlier today. Someone noticed your Oklahoma State Auctioneers Association lanyard, and they asked you, what do you do? How did you respond?
What we do is we market about anything across the board. We go out and we meet people every day, and we handle their estates and their assets and do the best we can to further their living and hope to reach their retirement goals.
Thank you, Brady. That's the final question.
Guys, thank you. Once again, thanks, Brady Lepard from Enid, Oklahoma. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, contestant number 7.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to be here today. I am contestant number 7. My name is Lane Rodman from Perkins, Oklahoma. You have some questions for me?
Congratulations, Lane, for making it to the final round. We have 3 questions for you. My first question is, in regards to our state association newsletter, The Chant, is it important to you and why?
Absolutely. I would say anybody in the auction business, if you're an auctioneer or any kind of component of the auction, you're always seeking to get better. How can I reach people and how can I touch lives better? For me, being an auctioneer, I'm always looking for ways to get better. I'm young, and I'm trying to be the best that I can be to touch lives.
Second question is, who has influenced you as an auctioneer and why?
Whoa, that's a whole book. I've had the opportunity and privilege to spend time with some of the greatest auctioneers. I've spent a lot of time with Bailey Ballou, with Dustin as well, and my dad actually taught me how to auctioneer, Paul David Rodman. And my family is actually kind of a line of auctioneers. I'm the 3rd generation. So I've grown up in the business, all of it kind of being set precedent. This is the way we've done it, but growing and improvement. How can we better reach today's society? Because everything's always evolving, technology, culture, things like that. So how can I be the person I need to be to bless my customer?
My final question for you is, you were on the elevator earlier today. Someone noticed your Oklahoma State Auctioneers Association lanyard. They ask, what do you do? And how did you respond?
Actually had someone ask me today, I'm an auctioneer, but I'm much more than an auctioneer. I'm someone that wants to help your business. I'm someone who wants to market your product, someone who wants to sell for you and do more than just make a dollar off of you. I want to bless your life. I want to be an asset to you.
Thank you, Lane.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. It's a pleasure to be here today. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, contestant number 8.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Marty Hill. I'm from South Coffeyville, Oklahoma. I'm contestant number 8. I'd like to welcome each and every one of you here this evening to the interview portion of the contest, which I'm grateful and thankful to be in. Judges, I'd like to thank you for your time. Josh, I'm ready for my first question, please.
Well, first off, congratulations, Marty, for making it this far. And I do have 3 questions for you. My first question is, In regards to our State Auctioneer Association newsletter, The Chant, is it important to you and why?
The chant keeps everybody in tune with what's going on in the auctioneer world, opposed to OSAA. I just made a comment, and I believe I told a few of the board members about the chant. I look forward to getting to that, keeping up on current things that's changing, current things that's happening, what's going on with the Oklahoma State Auctioneers Association at times. And it's very encouraging and things. That's something easy you can pass off to somebody else as a learning tool to help get them attracted to coming to the Oklahoma State Auctioneers Association.
Second question is, who has influenced you as an auctioneer and why?
Well, I've been blessed in many ways. I've had a lot of great teachers along the ways. The very first one that actually got me started into business was Brian Little. And at first I wasn't for sure that I wanted to be an auctioneer. And then I heard Brian at the local sale barn, which Justin knows all about the local sale barns, evidently. Anyway, but Brian at that point in time, I was just standing there one day working the ring, and I looked up out there and I just watched Brian, and I just got lost. And I was like, that's what I want to do. And at the time, Brian owned his own auction company. I worked for him at that time, and that's when I decided that I wanted to become an auctioneer. And then other people in life influenced me as things grew from that. I've got more jobs. I met a man, Dan Cruz, out of San Antonio, Texas, that has took me to the higher limits of the classic car auctions that I do, especially oil field sales that I do. And there's many people along the way that have been major stepping stones to me that helped me influence my career and to be the best I can be in the auction world.
My final question for you, Marty, is you were on the elevator earlier today. Someone noticed your Oklahoma State Auctioneers Association lanyard. They asked you, what do you do? And how did you respond?
I told them I am an auctioneer. That's how I provide for my family in ways. We're having a state contest and convention here at the hotel. I described them what we was doing. We was having a live auction. I said all the items there are absolute. And I told them about the association, and they ought to come down and check it out, and participate in the auction. And told them it's a great way of life. It's a good lifestyle. It's a good way to fellowship, meet good friends, and communicate business with one another. And I said, with that, you can come down. You can look at joining the association. We can get you paperwork to become a member of the association. And you never know if that person there, it wasn't a father or a mother to a son that was looking to go to the auction world and become an auctioneer. And that right there, bringing them in here and introducing them to that fact can be a help to push their son to excel to be the same.
Thank you, Marty.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Marty Hill. I'm from South Coffeyville, Oklahoma. I was contestant number 8.
Ladies and gentlemen, contestant number 9.
Welcome, friends, to the interview portion of the 2014 Oklahoma State Auctioneers Association's bid calling competition. My name is Jeff Crisop. I'm from Helena, Oklahoma, and contestant number 9. Mr. Bellamy, I understand you have some questions.
Congratulations, Jeff, for making it to the final round. I do have 3 questions for you. My first question is, in regards to our state association newsletter, The Chant, is it important to you and why?
That's a good question and a valid one, I believe. The chant is important to me to keep up with current events as well as to get other viewpoints of other auctioneers, especially those of our leadership that is on the board. I don't feel like we should discontinue that by any means. I understand with electronic media, we can go ahead and read it online, and that's great. I enjoy that, but I always like to have that hard copy right in front of me as well.
Second question is, who has influenced you as an auctioneer and why?
Have we got all night? Had a great many auctioneers influence me over the years. Of course, when I was a young fella, I rode around in the truck with my dad a lot, and of course heard the song "The Auctioneer," Leroy Van Dyke, and like all of us did, you know, that was something that pointed me probably in this direction. Then I've had the privilege of working with such great auctioneers, many of whom are in this room tonight, and they have all been, in one form or another, some type of an inspiration, and normally a pretty good one. One or two of them maybe not, but mostly always they were really good and enjoyed them immensely.
You were on the elevator earlier today. Someone noticed your Oklahoma State Auctioneers Association lanyard. They asked, "What do you do?" And how did you respond?
I'm a member of the Oklahoma State Auctioneers Association. It's a group of fellow professionals. We band together to learn more and do better at what we do in performing auctions for sellers around the country. We feel that the way for us to learn more is to band together so that we can afford proper education. That is the basics why we have an organization like this, so that we can learn from all of the other auctioneers and all of the other educators that we bring in. That's my purpose in being here, and I really love my association.
Very good. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you once again. Jeff Crissup, Helena, Oklahoma, contestant number 9.
Ladies and gentlemen, contestant number 10.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tony Wisely. I'm with Wisely Benefit Auction Service out of Perry, Oklahoma, and I will be contestant number 10 in the final round of the open bid calling competition. Mr. Bellamy, I understand you have a few questions you'd like to ask.
Well, first off, congratulations, Tony, for making it to the final round. I do have 3 questions for you. My first question is, in regards to our state association newsletter, The Chant, is it important to you and why?
Our state association newsletter, The Chant, is our conduit. That is the communication channel that our association reaches out to the members. And we get that quarterly. Callie does a good job putting that publication together, and yes, I read it cover to cover each time that publication comes out. Keeps us informed, connected, and we get bits of wisdom from our board members. Very important communication tool for us as association members out in the field.
Who has influenced you as an auctioneer and why?
Along the way, there have been many people, Josh, who have had, I think, an influence. I think if each of us think back to that time when we first went to auction school and we had that really good instructor that took the time, and I think one of those gentlemen is in this room this afternoon. I know I saw Billy earlier today. Billy had an impact on me, and the time that he took early on, spending some extra time, very encouraging. Doc Miller's in the room. When I first came back from auction school in March of '05, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and ready to attack the world, Dr. Miller, thankfully, offered me the opportunity a couple of times to get up in front of people and talk and sell some precious metals, some broken glass, some chipped glass, some of that kind of thing. Along the way, I've had the opportunity to attend many NAA events, some excellent people that have influenced me in terms of the specialties that they do. And so a wide-ranging list. I've only been in the business for about 10 years. Hopefully we have many more years to go through that process, and I'm sure that many other auctioneers will help and influence along the way. But we gain from each of them. And I appreciate the opportunity to have worked with and spent time with each of them.
Tony, my final question for you is, you were on the elevator earlier today. Someone noticed your Oklahoma State Auctioneers Association lanyard. They asked you, what do you do? And how did you respond?
I probably have a different answer than many of you in the room. And the reason I have a different answer is the reason that I love this profession. Now, I come at this from a different standpoint because the specific area that I like to work in and that I want to make my living is that of a professional benefit auctioneer. And I know here in Oklahoma, that's kind of an odd duck. But so when I answer that question, oftentimes I come at it from the standpoint of being a professional benefit auctioneer or a professional fundraising consultant. But probably the crux of that question when people ask that, and what it gets down to, I know where you're going with that, is when you say you're an auctioneer. And I do that when I say I'm a professional benefit auctioneer. That brings more questions and more questions and more questions. Most people know what we do as an auctioneer because they think of the sizzle. They think of the chant. That's what endears the public to what we do, the chant. But what I like to do from when I answer that question from a standpoint of what do you do, I'm a professional benefit auctioneer. I help organizations raise the most money so that they can achieve the mission of their organization. And my mission statement for my company is to fund a better world.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Josh, for those questions. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. I want to say that no matter what happens this evening, I am extremely honored to share the stage with these other 9 very well talented men. And I appreciate the opportunity to be up here in front of you. Thank you for your time. Again, my name is Tony Wisely. I am contestant number 10 in the final round of the open bid calling competition. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to conclude our portion for the interview portion of the contest here this afternoon. Just want to go over a few things with you. Number one, you go up to these guys here that's in this final round and you give them a big old pat on the back, because that's not easy. I had butterflies for them, so you make sure you do that. They all are tremendous competitors, and they did a fine, fine job this afternoon. We are going to have the meal at 6 o'clock, right, Arlen? And then following that, at 7 o'clock will be the final round, and we'll kind of have a little bit of a repeat of what we did last night. We'll start right in with those that final round at 7 o'clock there. We'll go through the final round of the competition. After we get that done, we're going to be tabulating some scores, have a little fun auction for you, and then we will announce. Oh, okay. We'll pass out some awards, and then we'll call it an evening following that. So anyway, be back here at 6 o'clock for the meal, and then we'll get started again at 7. Thank you guys so much.